everyone, welcome back to my channel, The Moody Pages. I'm Chanel, your fellow mood reader, and I'm just realizing that I don't have my bands on. I put primer on my face, so I took off my bands, but she's a married woman. I did have a friend comment saying that she would like to see how I did my wedding makeup. And she's so sweet because she was there at the wedding while we were getting ready. But we all were doing our own thing, so let's do some wedding makeup. How I did it. Okay. I'm gonna put this on. I did start with my eyes. You know how I said I was gonna bring tape? I did not, but I used one of the tea bags. And I put it like right here, so this is dirty if you can't tell. Okay. I was starting to look through my box here, my little makeup collection. The traveling makeup. But I lent a friend some glitter glue and I don't see my glitter glue back, so I don't know, I might not have any glitter glue for the look, which is fine. The glitter glue just really kind of like enhances the glitter, but doesn't necessarily make or break the look. It's pretty all the same. Okay, so I always start with eyes first, and I'm using the MAC Painterly pot. I'm just using this little setting quad from Jaclyn Cosmetics. I don't have a specific color that I used to set it, I just set it. Okay, so here comes the fun part, was when I was trying to place the tea bag on the corner of my eyes, also while trying to blend makeup. That was tough. So I have this palette from No Maquillage. It's their little collaboration with Kathleen Lights, and this is our Disco Fox palette. But I used this shade, this, and this. Just 3 shades, and then I used Space Cowboy from Urban Decay. I will go ahead and start. And now this part doesn't necessarily matter because it's just the crease. I mean, this part doesn't necessarily matter, but it's when we start getting into the deeper colors that it does. Okay, now I'm going to go into this middle shade right here. And I'm pressing this kind of into the corner, especially letting it kind of rely on this line. And then starting to kind of go back and forth to blend it out. With that same brush, I'm going into this deeper brown shade. Then here's where it's going to get a little tricky. Is you're really gonna have to kind of focus on the outer and then really rely on this is gonna do its job. So I start by putting it right there at the bottom, and then I start going back and forth and then bringing it up just slightly. But really what I'm trying to do is just create a slight V. I'm gonna go on the other side. You can see it's a straight line. That's what we want. We want crisp. To me, the outer corners look good, but I need to go back into the crease to really soften it out. So I'm going to go back into that first shade that we went into. And go back and forth. And that looks good. Okay, now we're going to do the glitter. Here's the Space Cowboy. So what the glitter glue does is really enhances that wet look feature. This is gonna look fine and it's gonna look pretty, but with the glitter glue, I think it's really gonna just pop. We don't have the glitter glue, so we're just gonna go in and call it good. This is almost like an everyday look that I do. Not every day, but a fun outing, so it's really not super new. If I'm going for a light outing, I just dust a little bit on. and it's just a light little sparkle. So you see how it's just a light little sparkle? The glitter glue really made it look super wet, and it attracted all that pigment. A better idea of what the look looked like, I'm going to kind of go in with one of these, probably this middle one right here, to show you how wet the look really did look. There we go. See, this is how it looked with the glitter glue. I have to actually go in with a completely different shade to show you guys that effect. I'm going to touch up again the outer. Kind of blended this. I'm using this middle shade here, and I'm using it to blend right here, just ever so gently, so it looks a little cohesive. And then using the darker shade, this looks really good. What I am going to do though to help the waterline blend in with the lashes, I'm going to take some eyeliner and just barely do a very light lining, so that way when I put on fake lashes, it really just melts together. So you can see just barely, it's there, the difference. And I use this Kiss lash glue. I was starting to panic at the wedding because I did have to readjust one of the lashes, and that made me a little nervous. But it all came together, so that's good. Okay, I'm gonna put this on. We'll come back. We're back with the lashes on and everything. So next step is base with the foundation, primer, all that jazz. I already put primer on because I don't like how it feels on my fingers, so I wash my hands after. For foundation at the wedding, I used the Makeup by Mario, and I used that with a beauty sponge. And I did not like how it looked on me, and I was a little frustrated because you know, like I would have to take off everything, redo skincare, and I did not bring my skincare to the hotel room because I already did that at home. So what I did was I went over with a little bit of this. So if I had to redo the makeup, I would just use this to begin with. So that's what I'm going to do here for the video. I would have just gone with the skin tint. Okay, so in the pack with me for the wedding video, I talked about how I was going to read a few books. For sure one. Like I knew I was going to read one 100% there, but two, that's pushing it. Starting a third, okay. But I still put in that video what I would hopefully would read. Well, as you would know it, I finished one book. So we got there on a Wednesday. I finished my book on the plane, and then no, I actually finished it at the house, and then I started book number 2, and that was a really fun one. So I finished The Canary Cowards at the house, but I've read a majority of that on the plane, and that ended up being good. I really liked the main female character. She was amazing. Her brother was amazing. The main male character is probably my least favorite male character ever. Most horribly written man ever. Misogynistic, just terrible. But he ended up, you know, changing for her. She was good. Like, she made him a better person, but the fact that he was just so crappy to begin with really made it hard to like him throughout the whole entire time, because you're like, I know deep down how you are. If this is how you were at the beginning of the book, this is how you are with most people. I don't know. So anyways, good thing that person is not in real life, but it does make me mad because I know that there are people like that in real life. And that makes me mad. Anyways, so after I finished that, I started reading The Veiled Kingdom from my Romantasy book club. I have not read some of the books for the Romantasy book club, and I'm the admin for it. But yeah, so I decided I need to read one, and I read The Veiled Kingdom. I finished that Thursday, Friday maybe. I forget when I actually finished, from start to end, started and ended. But it was such a fun, silly, goofy time. It's on Kindle Unlimited if you want. It's a fantasy romance. The fantasy aspect isn't really there. There's not a whole lot of major world building, so if you struggle with fantasy books and you like the romance aspect of it, I think this might be a good one, because there's no world building. All you know is that the king is evil. He is not liked by people. And he has an heir, a princess. And she's been locked away in a castle, and she's on the run now. But they don't know that until... Do they know it? I don't know. But the princess does not have powers. Apparently he taxes people for having powers. That's kind of the gist I got, but that was a little confusing on what made him such a bad dude. What did he do to make people just not like him? Tax him. That's a normal thing. I don't know. So I wish I kind of got to know why this guy was bad, because to me that's like a normal government function, is taxing people. So the princess is lost, hidden identity. She is on the run, and she finds the rebels. The rebels find her, and so she is, trying to not tell them that she is the hidden princess of the king that they hate, and that they kill people for siding on. Like, if you side with the king, they kill you on sight. It's on sight. So anyways, she was a little intimidated by that aspect. I went in with some concealer. This is my favorite concealer, my go-to. Put that on. And then I'm about to go in with my cream bronzer. Anyways, I just had the most fun, silly, goofy time reading that book, and I loved it so much. It was so low. It was low stakes, easy to understand, minus why is the king such a bad person. The tension between the love interest and the main character, good. It was really good. I think Holly Renee really writes easy to read books. I've read her Kingdom of Stars and Shadows. I have the last book that I need to read still from her, and I've read a few other of her contemporary romances, and they're fun. She's just a really fun author. If you need like a fun, silly, goofy time with the tropes that you like, she's your author. She's your author. I was like giggling, kicking my feet, and like at a few points, because there's some tropes that just hit in fannies. There's some tropes that just hit better in fantasy romance, and I loved it so much. The who did this to you kind of really, really is the best in fantasy romance. You usually have some fae male that's just brooding. I don't know, I love it. On Thursday, I was playing around with the makeup, and I did bring this blush. I said, when I think of weddings, I think of mauve. Brought it, used it, and I did not like the way it looked on me. So I busted out this on Friday to test out how the makeup looks, and this was perfection. I loved the way I looked with this blush on versus the mauve with this eyeshadow look. So this is what I used. So I'm just going in for the cream portion right here and patting that on. And I kind of went heavy with it because blush is the first thing to go when you are taking pictures or just like day to day. Blush is the first to go. It wears down so quick. I'm going to set the under eyes. I'm going to set the under eyes with this. So the next book I started after Kingdom of the Veiled was The Right Move, which is book 2 in the, I don't know, some series by Liz Tomford. And I am entering my sports romance era, specifically with Liz Tomford. The first book I really enjoyed, however, there was 2 breakups, and I didn't enjoy the fact that there was multiple breakups, and that bothered me a lot. Especially when it's like miscommunication tropes. It really bothers me. So anyway, so I'm going in with some powder. I'm just going to dust the whole entire face. I will bake towards the end, even though I probably should now. I didn't back then either, but I'm putting powder everywhere, and then I'm going in with the bronzer powder and blush powder, and then we'll bake. I started The Right Move, and I was gobbling it up. First off, I'm a basketball fan. I absolutely love basketball. So this was a basketball romance, and I was very excited about that. Up my alley. And then I really liked the main female character. She was fun, bright, exorbitant outfits, just very out there. And for some quiet, reserved dude. And I don't know, he kind of reminded me of a Suns player here, where there's pressure to get into the playoffs. Everyone needs a championship ring and whatnot. In some ways, that he kind of reminded me of this certain player. I didn't picture this player during any scenes, but just like that pressure. I'm like, I wonder if this character feels, or if this person feels that pressure to get the rings. The Suns did get to the playoffs. They never made it past that though, so, because it's the Sun. I've noticed with these 2 books that there are multiple breakups throughout the book, and it drives me insane. I was having the funnest time reading this. I was laughing out loud. I felt more like I was reading a rom-com because the banter and the wittiness of all the characters just had my heart. But there's multiple breakups, and that just made me so annoyed. Super annoyed. First off, I can handle one miscommunication breakup, but another? I did use liquid. I forgot to put it on. So instead of putting liquid on top of all these powders, I am going to go in with the powder version of it, which I did do at the wedding. I put liquid down when I did all the creams, and I put powder on top, just like this, like I'm doing now. And then what I did do also was go back into the waterline area with that middle shade, just like that. Okay, so we are gonna bake now. I didn't fill in my brows or anything, I just did a quick swipe of clear. Wait. I use this NYX lip liner. Loved it. And then also this NYX liquid lipstick. Stayed on all day. It was wild. I'm very impressed. I ate too. I didn't need to touch up. I'm gonna take off the headband, and this is the final look. It's very easy to do. The eyeshadow just really popped. I don't know. I had fun doing my makeup and hanging out with my friends. The photographer was super fun and amazing. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and little chat about books I read while I was at the wedding. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!